I love comics. Since I was a kid, I started reading comics, and the first contact was with Marvel and DC superheroes.
Yeah.
Thor, Fantastic Four, Conan the Barbarian, or Superman, Batman. I really love it. And I grew up with a desire to make comics. But we are talking about 30 years ago,
Uh-huh.
before internet. So it was completely distant for us in Brazil. Maybe people in São Paulo or Mike Deodato, he started in the 90s to work for Marvel and DC Comics. But for my generation, at that moment was completely impossible to make comics for the majors, or even making comics in Brazil was harder. At the same time, I love my culture, I love my land. Bahia is the blackest state in population in Brazil and has a strong
Yeah.
culture. Uh, the Afro-Brazilian heritage is completely visible in the streets, in the monuments, in the restaurants, in the music, in the philosophy. It's part of our culture. So I had always the desire to make comics, but to make comics talking about my culture. Bahia, Brazil, Latin American cultures. Mostly because after reading so many comic books about the Western heritage and Western superhero,
Yeah.
I started to question it. I started to ask myself, why am I not represented? Why the Brazilians or Latin Americans or Africans are not represented in the characters I read about? And I believe that was the seed that made me years later to make comics.